for most of 2025, it was a bit of a, why don't we call it a negative roller coaster, right? People being focused either on jobs and the economy as their top national issue of concern, or US trade relations, President Trump kind of as those that 1, 2 pieces of anxiety. But what's happening at least is that as we close out the year, people are increasingly focused on jobs and the economy as the top thing that they're worried about right now. The thing is, there's a significant proportion of Canadians that are just worried about paying for the groceries in the coming week and worried about paying for housing. And what this speaks to is a, almost like, I'll call it like an anxious holding pattern, right? It's like wait and see for 2026 that we're seeing. The big question is will people start to delay purchases, major purchases that they can afford and might have planned? And could this also have another kind of negative knock-on effect on the economy writ large? It's too early to tell. But I think right now, at least, it's a bit of a wait and see for many Canadians. I think what we're probably going to see for 2026 is perhaps even a greater level of frustration that, for any politician that says that they can fix the cost of living, there'll probably be a pretty big level of skepticism on that front. The interesting thing is that the Conservatives under Pierre Poilievre, and this predates when Mark Carney being Prime Minister, the Conservatives under Pierre Poilievre actually did a very good job at staking out the territory on the rising cost of living and them being in sync and understanding how many Canadians are struggling to pay for the bills. And I would hazard to say that the Conservatives still remain strong on that. The flip side to that is that the Liberals under Mark Carney are strong on issues related to managing the relationship with Donald Trump and the trade negotiations. So, I think we're talking about a battle of the ballot questions. I think that's what we're going to see in 2026. If the focus is on Donald Trump and the Americans, I would expect that Mark Carney will have the upper hand. If the focus is on the rising cost of groceries, the rising cost of housing, inflation, and that kind of stuff, that will probably give the advantage to Pierre Poilievre right now. But when we look at the ballot numbers writ large, they're almost basically within the margin of error. So it's statistically a tie when it comes to vote share. But the distribution of support for the Liberals favors them right now because the NDP support has, for all intents and purposes, collapsed compared to what we've seen in the last 10 years. And what the Conservatives need are for the New Democrats to breathe new life through their leadership and to engage more progressive voters in order to eat into that Liberal vote right now that is coalescing behind Mark Carney.